Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
As always, the Ramble is sponsored by COACH Sheffield. If you're a growing business and you want support to continue that growth, they are the people to speak to. Thank you for joining the team for their continued support for the Ramble. Today's Ramble is also sponsored by High Point Access. Thank you to them for their support. They are your number one stop shop for all your working at heights and roofing needs. If you mention the Blades Ramble when booking any works with them, you'll also get 10% off. What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is 90 after 90. It is a 90-minute show after the 90 minutes of football. We'll go up to 90 minutes. We'll go as long as you want to go. I appreciate it's a late one. I am halfway between getting back to the caravan that I've left to go and watch that game tonight. Wow. Where to start, really? And I were in two minds whether to come on or not. But the one thing I have said is that, look, if we're going to commit to doing something, we can't just come on when it suits, can we? And, you know, I could have done a couple of people mentioned, why don't you do a debrief instead where you don't have callers on and you just say what you want to say and then get off. It's not what we're about, is it? It's not what we're about. We are a channel where people can come on, and I imagine tonight will be about venting and the frustration that comes with it. And I'm right there with them tonight because, you know, sticking with that same team that put in such a poor performance at Oxford, I was very, very surprised at that call. I understand it. It was definitely a gamble. I wasn't keen on it before kickoff. The people that were with me will, you know, it's not revisionist, this. Like the people that were with me when the team came out know my reaction. It's not the position we're in that worries me particularly, because unbelievably, it's still in our hands. Because if we win all of our existing games, we're promoted. All of our remaining games, we're promoted because we're only 2 points behind Burnley. It's not the position that's worrying me. It's the performances at the moment. And tonight, again, I thought even Michael Cooper looked shaky tonight. And that's, you know, the first time I've said that as brazenly as that. I still think I wouldn't swap him for anybody in the league. There's no sort of flip-flopping here. I try and always think about the bigger picture in terms of where we are as a club, now third in the league, 2 points behind those in first and Leeds and Burnley in first and second. They've taken their chance tonight. Obviously, Burnley will feel, you know, that they haven't taken theirs, but they've got away with it because we've been poor. And we didn't deserve to win tonight. I've just seen Wilder's post-match interview as I was preparing to come on. He's very sort of matter-of-fact about it, which, you know, I thought he might have gone in a little bit stronger on the players. Not that he should have done. I just thought he might have done because he put faith in that same team and they haven't performed. He will now take the brunt of that team selection on his shoulders, which he should, because it was his call. I don't know what Callum Aware's got to do to get a game. I thought Raksaki looks really poor when he came on. I mean, I could go through players, and I think I don't often do this, but I will. Because I don't think many played badly. I just don't think we were at it again collectively. I thought we were second best in a lot of areas. I don't think we dealt with the high press well at all. I think Millwall's high press killed us. They were roughing us up. We got bullied off the ball. Jack Robinson, who's supposed to be our big, tough defender, and this is no slight on him. Obviously, people know where I think he's supposed to be the hard man of the team. We're getting bullied. We're getting bullied by Josh Coburn, who's what, 22, 23-year-old. Big lad, don't get me wrong, but we couldn't cope with him. Thought Femi Sariki had one of his worst games in a United shirt, and I don't get any pleasure in saying that because he's a young lad, and we always talk about it. We get inconsistencies from young players. You can expect it. But you compare that to Siddy Peck, who I think can hold his head high for the last couple of... I'm not saying he were amazing by any means, but Sidney Peck can hold his head high these last couple of games. I think he's done well. I thought Anel did okay as well tonight. I thought Anel were all right. I thought Jack Robinson got lucky at times in terms of he was screaming and shouting at the referee. And look, it's a frustrating performance from the ref. I think he were equally poor for both sides, by the way. There was a blatant penalty that Millwall should have got when Jack Robinson's yanking at the shirt of the forward. That we blatantly got away with because the ref didn't have the bottle to give the penalty that should have been 5 minutes beforehand. I thought Harrison Burrows did well. As, you know, he's just steady. When I say well, I don't mean to over-egg it. I just think he can't really be blamed. I thought Hamza Chowdhury were okay. Thought Vinny Souza looked all right as well when he came on. Looked well. I thought Raksaki were very poor, as I've said. I thought Ben Brereton Diaz was very poor. I think Tyrese Campbell needs a rest. He's looked off it last couple of games. Gus Amer, I thought, were all right. Brewster, I thought, were anonymous. So I don't think it's, I've highlighted a couple of players there, but I don't think it's been a holistically terrible performance. I just don't think we've been at it. And that is more of a concern for me. These players have had the gauntlet thrown down to them by the manager saying, I'm going to trust in you to go again and give me the Coventry performance rather than the Oxford performance. I'm going to show that I'm backing you as 11 players. They haven't done it. And it leaves Wilder with no excuses because pre-January, he'd have been saying, we had to go again and they're tired and, we haven't got any other options. But we have now. We have got more options now. We've got plenty of options. You saw that from what came off the bench. I don't think Tom Cannon did great, but again, it's a tough ask, isn't it, to come on and make an impact as a lone striker at the top of the pitch. And that's not me making excuses for him. I'm running out, to be honest. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if he starts at Plymouth. I don't know what Callum O'Hare, as I say, has got to do to get a game. I understand why Brewster kept the shirt for Oxford, but Callum O'Hare's got to come in tonight. The other glaringly obvious thing is every time Rob Holding has come on, he's looked superb. He's looked so calm. He's just a level above. He's like I was saying to Eki Sal today, he's a little bit like the Michael Cooper equivalent to the centre halves. So he's just exudes calm and you feel in control when he's in and around the ball. And it's not an obvious, so get Jack Robinson out of the team. That is the obvious lift for me. Because I think Rob Holding is captain material. But just get him in the team. Get him in the I don't care if you keep Jack Robinson in, if you move Anel to right back like we did when Femi came off. And I know Femi offers us a lot going forward because he does. And there's a lot of good things about Femi Siriki's game. And I'm not saying we bomb him out completely on one poor performance, but he's left wanting a lot as a defender. And again, I don't get any pleasure in saying that. So tonight we have obviously put in that performance. Credit to Millwall, by the way, who I thought were a really organised, well-drilled side. Nothing really to play for. I mean, I don't know where it puts them now because obviously Middlesbrough have lost. I don't know what the playoff situation. I think did Bristol City get a last-minute winner against West Brom? So Millwall might now be back in the mix for the playoffs. Might have an outside chance still. And fair play to them. Thought they played well tonight. I thought we struggled to break them down. We were pumping balls up into the box high at times, and they've got two towering centre halves that we know all about. Why are we doing that? It didn't seem like there was a plan again tonight. Sometimes it just feels like we're putting good players on the pitch and keeping his fingers crossed, which ain't good enough. And we have now given the power back to the other two sides. As I say, it is still in our hands, but we've got to go to Turf Moor and beat Burnley now. If things all stay the same, because there's only 5 games left. If things all stay the same, and I still think there'll be twists and turns to come, but as we sit here, we're in the playoff positions, and we have to go to change that. We have to go to Turf Moor as it stands and beat a team who's not lost there all season and conceded 12 goals all season. It's a huge ask, huge ask. But you know, that's what happens when you don't do your bit, and we haven't done our bit tonight. So we have to take it on the chin. I'm here because we've committed to coming on. There's 900 people here because I'm sure there will be fans from other teams that have jumped on to say hello and say their bit. I think I probably know which team the majority will be from as well. We've got a couple of lads waiting, and in fact, normally I jump into comments early doors, but because of the time, I'm conscious that some people might be catching this in the morning, and I want to give these lads the opportunity to have their say, and then if they need to jump off, they can do. So first up, it's the Ramble on the Road man himself. Delado had the long journey down to Oxford. He will be doing it again for us at the weekend for Plymouth. Thank you to Jamie Dumpling. How's it going, pal?
Can you hear me all right? I'm trying to be a bit
fine,
quiet.
Mate. I can hear you fine. I'm gonna remind you we're a family channel.
Yeah.
And I'll remind my next caller that as well, because I can see him waiting patiently. But what's your initial thoughts on tonight, pal?
That was bad. You, as you said earlier, you called it like you were nervous when you saw that lineup coming. But I think a lot of the problems are coming down to defence. I know that we've coached well recently because of like the likes of Cooper in and out, but especially tonight, I thought Jack Robinson looked really bad. He looked completely off it. And I know that I think NL looked off it as well, but the moment Holden came on, it was like...
Different level, innit? Different level.
Different, completely different. And for me, he needs to get in, as you said. I completely agree. For me, you drop Jack Robinson because I've been saying, we'll try NL at right back, but it just weren't working. I don't think he's got that next attribute to try and get further forward. I thought Sariku actually played all right. Him and Sidibe looked decent, to be fair. And Heyman, you could say Burrow sort of, but it just seemed completely off. I think everyone, all players' mindset was still on the Oxford game. Just something weren't right with that match.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it, mate? I'm not going to talk about Jack Robinson tonight. I thought he did okay, to be honest, Jack Robinson today, and I feel like I'm a bit of a broken record with it. I don't need to sort of go in on him every single time. People know how I feel about it, and I would definitely have Rob Holding in the side. And maybe it's a different result because he don't get, you know, I think, and I might be wrong because I've only seen it live, obviously. I think it's Robinson that gets spun for goal, but
I think it's both of them. I think it's both Nell and Robbo.
Well, there you go. And Robinson, Nell doesn't look the same player playing alongside him. So, you know, that's one of them things, isn't it? But yeah, mate, it leaves us in a very vulnerable position now, doesn't it? We're obviously least likely of the three to finish in the top two now.
I'm not looking forward to Plymouth at all now.
Are you not? Do you think Plymouth
it's a long way? It's so far. I'm really not looking forward. I will say this. I know FOTMob's not the most reliable app in the world, but in the last two United games, both the opposition goalkeepers have been awarded man of the match. So I think that sort of gives an extra bit of the story.
It does, mate. And that's fair.
For us. It's just not happening at the minute.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, we should be beating these teams. And like you said, the goalkeeper getting the man of the match for both opposition teams, I suppose, does. It's a consolation, but it don't get you the points on the board. It don't get you where you want to be, does it? I don't think we've done enough. And you have to take it on the chin. This is why I didn't go in hard when Leeds started to wobble. We all had a bit of a giggle. We all had, it could be happening again. Because look how quickly it can turn. And this is just 2 games. There's 5 left. This could happen. It doesn't look likely, but it could happen to Burnley. It could happen to Leeds again.
Tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Burnley dropped points tonight. Exactly. And we haven't taken advantage of that, have we? We could have been in top 2, but these things happen, mate. These things happen, and we will end up where we deserve to end up. Because we talk about the accrued points an awful lot. We could get those 2 points back now, and we're still 3rd. So on everything that's right, we are where we are, aren't we? We are where we are, and we have to face it. So, do you think we've blown it in terms of automatic promotion, or do you think there's still a few twists and turns to come?
There probably is where we may come back into the top 2, but I think that's it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may like dip into second again, where like we could like win a match. I mean, if we won tonight, we're top at league, so it's a different story. But I think that Uddy says it all. If I can get it all in.
Oh mate, why have you won that? Why have you won that?
So
unbelievable.
That may be what I'm wearing to Plymouth. I don't know.
Right, Jay,
I'm looking good at minute.
I'm going to move on, pal. But thank you for starting us off tonight. I'm going to start getting into some of these comments because there's a few that's flooding in with over 1,000 people here. So, thank you for your time, pal. You'll get you sent to bed, and I'll catch up with you soon.
See you in a bit.
All right, mate. See you soon. Cheers to Jamie for jumping on and starting us off tonight. Matthew says, very disappointed today. At least we know what we need to do now. Win every game and we're top 2. The players look lost, run out of ideas. What's happened to big call from Wilder, keeping the same team? I know it was a surprise to me as well, to be honest, pal. Brand said a few weeks ago it was playoffs for us and people laughed. We must be one of the worst sides in the championship history to be going for autos. Boring, no plan B, rudderless, overrated team with no bottle. I think that's very harsh, Bran. I'm not saying it's not fair, by the way. I think it's very harsh to say. We're a team that's been thrown together, and I don't think we've ever found that rhythm. We haven't really got orthodox wingers in the side. Gus Amers playing out on the left, and I appreciate his output's been very good this season, and I thought he played okay tonight. So you can't sort of flip-flop with that too much. Ben Burton Diaz is playing out of position now on the opposite side because of how well Gus has played on the left. So, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I don't think Wilder will drop Jack Robinson no matter what. You know, he'd have to, I think he sees him as the captain. And it's a shame in my eyes that, because I think Rob Holding can come in and do the captain's job, if I'm honest, and will look a bit more solid, but that's my opinion. Grease Chip Butty says, bloody awful. As soon as Millwall scored, I knew we'd lost tonight. Really, after it was so early as well. Cooper caused the goal, and all the back passing was unnecessary and negative. We could still do it, but 0 points from 6 is woeful. It is woeful. It is, mate. Matthew says the next 2 games now are must-wins, or it's 100% the playoffs. Why do we never cross the ball? It's pass, go back. Oh, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Super positive Jack says we've really picked the wrong time to plummet in form, but these performances don't get you up, and right now we don't deserve to. Helen says, sorry, Jimmy, but I think even Cooper bottled it tonight. He looked shaky, didn't he, Helen? He looked shaky, and I'm one of his biggest fans, as everybody knows, and I'm one of Wilder's biggest fans as well, but I think both of them can, won't be overly proud putting their head on pillar tonight. I'm not angry, I'm just very that's exactly how I felt, Matthew. It's something that Andy the Blade used to say to me when I used to upset my mum when we were little. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. And that were it. That were worse than him being ridiculously angry. Feels like we have to blow it at the last moment, but there's still hope. It can all change again. And I would say we've got to win at least the next 4 or 5, maybe 5 out of 5 now. The one thing I will say, Wilder's stubbornness and refusal to change the team has cost us dearly. Saturday was an overreaction, apparently. Who's to blame tonight, Chris? Fans again? Big Mally says, Jimmy, what's going on? I know, mate. I know. The one thing I will say is, if you can try and look at it differently, and we don't have to do this tonight because there's, it's very hard to pick anything positive out of it. I genuinely believe that Sheffield United are better as underdogs, and when people write us off is when we are at our most dangerous. I think we are most vulnerable when we are seen to be favourites in any situation. So it's not over. We are up against it, and it's looking unlikely at the minute. But I won't write us off. I don't think anybody can at the moment. Ryan says, still waiting for the reaction. Poor performance from the players. Too slow. Lazy on the ball. Didn't win first and second balls. Didn't win anything in the air. Poor tactical subs. I thought the subs were okay, to be honest. I thought the subs were okay and necessary. I just think it comes too late when the team doesn't perform, if I'm honest. In terms of the starting 11, I think the changes should have been made earlier. And I think a lot of us can say that now because a lot of us thought that after the Oxford game. Hi, Jimmy lad, you okay? Says Gaz, not happening. Automatic promotion now, methinks. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Go to the fans all you like, but when it doesn't happen, you look a bit foolish, says Rye. Only 2 points behind is the only saving grace. Ev says, hey up, Jim, in my opinion, he should have changed the lineup. Not angry, just disappointed. Season not over yet. The exact same as the Oxford game. They go 1 up, sit back, and time waste. Up the blades, up the ramble. I thought Millwall were okay tonight, to be fair. Brand says, absolutely no chance this side copes with the playoffs. Next season in the Championship will be incredibly tough when our better players leave. Sorry to spam the chat, Jimmy lad, but I'm raging tonight. Mate, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Hopefully you'll feel better once you've had your vent and your rant and heard other people's opinions. And I'm hoping that it has the same effect on me, because I'm a little bit apathetic about it tonight, unfortunately, which is a terrible place to be, really. Happy Chappy says, can't wait for Wilder to come out and blame the fans for this one. I don't want to hear any rubbish. Come on, mate. Come on. But we started on -2. Wilder's got so many points this season. Yeah, okay. I know you're not a fan of Chrissy Wilder, pal, and you've been on that, to be fair, from the start and questioned his tactical nous. So that's not for those that aren't aware of Happy Chappy's stance, that's not a reactionary response. I can't get 0 points from Oxford and Millwall and expect top 2, says Bean. We've played 5 or 6 out of 10 all season, and individual brilliance has covered it up. We should be getting away. We should be getting way better performances. This is a question we were asking in car. Has this been coming? Have we been lucky to win some of the 50-50 games that we have this season? Possibly. And now is the luck running out? And I still stand by the fact that it's not luck when you win 15 games by a 1-goal margin. But we have got better players on the pitch than most in this division. We have better players on the pitch than Millwall tonight. We have better players on the pitch than Oxford. And they've both done us. So you have to look at yourselves, whether that's manager, players, club collectively. You've got to look at yourselves at some stage, haven't you, and say, what are we doing that's not right? Too many players having off days. Burrows and Robbo stood out, says Ev, but we have to go again. Stood out as having off days. I don't know whether that's what you mean. Rice says needs to shake the team up. The players had their chance to rectify the Oxford game. Also play the tactics that suit our players or that make a difference to the state of the game, says Rai. Okay, I'm going to bring in our next caller, who's, as I say, it's a late one tonight, isn't it? We've got 1,250 people here on between YouTube and X. So thank you to everybody that's joining us in our misery this evening. Appreciate it. It's a very late one, but I'm going to let Ricky join us now. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, right, mate.
I'm okay, pal. How are you? What can you say, mate? What can you say? He's one of them, innit? I
think Wilder's stubbornness cost us. I think he's saying that he can't blame fans and all this, like, right? So I think Wilder needs to stand forward and be held accountable. I think his stubbornness, he's played that team when that game were crying out for a Kiefer Moore. It needed a big, strong presence up front. They were big lads. A lot of the team were big lads, you know what I mean? And when Enels looked small in our box, it's, you know we need some size on there, don't you?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I think there's two ways of going for it. You can either go Kiefer Moore and try and match him up, who did really well in the air when he came on, I thought, against Oxford when we started going long to him. Or you can rework the way that you're trying to get the ball into the box. And I don't understand when you've got Tyrese Campbell and later Tom Cannon up front, why you're pumping high balls into the box against these giants that we're up against. If your plan is to, because you could see them, they soak the pitch so that the ball's zippy on the pitch and moves around quickly. Use that. If that's what we're going to do, get it to feet, get it to our strikers' feet. Tyrese Campbell's been lethal this season, predominantly with his feet. I don't get it. It's like we're not playing to our players' strengths, and that's not just positionally, which has been a big criticism this season. But yeah, it's frustrating, mate. And to be fair, obviously you met us before the game down at Selena and then at Triple Point, and you were saying that from before kickoff. So again, I want to make people aware when people like yourself are coming on, Rick. It's not just a reaction to tonight because you peeved. It's something that you were saying before the game as well, and sort of sticking to it. So.
Do you know what it is? I don't understand what's happening because we're getting it into box, but everything's passed into box. Everything's passing. There's too many passes.
Yeah,
I get right. It's like we can't score unless it's a tapping or some big wonder strike from Gus from 30 yards away or something. Do you know what I mean? I just don't. There's too much passing. It's like Sidney Peck, right? When he's got the ball in the middle, he does this little step over, look side to side. I never see him looking forward. All game, he did not look forward. It's side to side and then pass back. Jack Robinson, it's like, do you know, if Millwall finished their chances, we should have been about 4-0 down, four goals down.
Yeah.
It's like, their finish were a bit shocking, but it's like, amount of times I've seen the ball bounce over an L's head or Femi's head or something, and the players just left on their own.
I know.
They look tired. Campbell looked tired. The press were non-existent. Yeah.
Campbell does look tired. I thought exactly the same. Andy the Blade said the same to me when he was sat down. Why is he being flogged week in, week out when, you know, we need to look after him? He's our most lethal striker, and it's a bit of desperation, really, that we're leaving him on.
Yeah.
Yes, mate. So what's your thoughts on automatics after tonight's result?
Well, you know what I'm still going to say we're going to be champions, but...
I love the confidence. The blind confidence.
We've got to win every game, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Like, if you ask me, I still think we can go to Turf Mound and turn them over.
And
I'll say that every day into a kilo. Do you know what I mean? I believe we can go to any team and turn them over, but that's just my opinion on it. But
we can. We're good enough to do it, Rick. We're good enough to do it. It's just we're not showing the sort of form that we need to be able to do it at the minute.
Do you know what? There were little bits where it looked all right, where we started playing in triangles again.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we do not move it ball quick enough. There were a lot of sideways passes and backwards passes again. It's like Cooper's looking to do the break ball, and no one's running forward at all.
Yeah, I know. It's
there's no outlet.
He's looking all the time to give it quick and there's nobody moving. Same with throw-ins and stuff like that. Nobody's moving around and wanting the ball. And that's a worrying sign as well for me.
It's like you can't play Saki and Sariki together because both of them want to play white ring and there's no one there. It's like I saw it a few times where the ball's gone over and you've got Anel sprinting back as quick as they can and Peg trying to cover that right back spot because no one's there.
I know.
Because they're both up there. But the thing what irritated me is they're both still like near their corner flag and balls in near our half now and none of them are running to get back. None of them. It's like, if you're playing for sure, at least put that effort in. Do you know what I mean? Just that little bit. Do you know what I mean? Don't do it so it's so obvious where everyone can see you're not even trying.
I know. Frightening, mate. Frightening. Okay, pal. Anything else you want to cover before I let you go?
No, mate. I'll just have a good one. Safe journeys back to Filey.
Cheers, mate. Yeah. That's a long trip for me after this, but I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers, pal.
Yeah, man. See you later.
See you, mate. Ta-ra, mate. Nice one, Rick. Thank you, pal. Wildest to blame tonight's has been. Created nothing Saturday and chose the same team, shoehorning people into positions like Hamer and Brereton Diaz. There were no tactics tonight. Subs were awful, no patterns. We're crumbling. I didn't think the subs were awful. That's just my opinion. I thought every sub that he made sense to me, if I'm thinking right. Just didn't work, did it? Just didn't work. Looked disjointed. I don't know what's happened to Brereton Diaz. I really don't. Ev says the disappointment for me is we've come so far, been so consistently good for so long. And then when it comes to Millwall and Oxford, we lose both. Very poor performances. Like I said, season isn't over. However, it's really poor. I would push back a little bit on being consistently good. And I don't mean to put a negative spin on it because I've been very pleased with exactly what we've done this season. I think the performances have largely been found wanting for most of the season. We've been very, very efficient. I think consistent is the right word to use. I think we've done a professional job on a lot of teams. I think we've very rarely blown teams away. The three that stand out is Oxford at home, Middlesbrough, and Coventry the other night. I think other than that, we've been very professional in getting the job done. So, yeah, again, I don't want to put a negative spin on it, but how else am I supposed to tackle tonight, I suppose? Beast Boy says, why are people calling for O'Hare back? He wasn't good when he came on, missed two big chances, the one he passed to Raksaki and then shot off the edge of the box. I just think he gives us something that Brewster doesn't. Brewster were largely anonymous tonight, and it's difficult to strongly express your opinion without feeling like you are zoning in on certain players. Because Ryan Brewster playing was not the reason we lost tonight. Jack Robinson playing was not the reason we lost tonight. Femi Sariki playing, same thing. But collectively, something needs to change. And whilst I understood riding the wave of positive performances and keeping the same team for Oxford as played Coventry, when they played so poorly against Oxford, I think you're allowed. You've sort of given yourself the license to change it again, and it gives you that opportunity to bring in your best 11, not just the in-form 11. Get Rob Holding in that starting lineup. Get Vinny Souza starting in the lineup. If Tyrese Campbell's tired, take him out of the team. If you think Callum O'Hare is a better 10 than Ryan Brewster, which the majority of fans do, if I'm being honest, Beast Boy, and I know you're in the Ryan Brewster camp, get Callum O'Hare back in the team. If you think Raksaki's a better option than Brereton Diaz, get him in the team. This is the opportunity to do it, and he hasn't done it, has he yet? So he chose to go with the same team. He'll have known it were a huge risk when he made that, but he believed in the players, obviously, and he now has to take that on the chin. Rai says, lumping it up front to no one that can win a header and have more on the bench and not even come on is questionable. I feel this result is firmly at the players and managers' feet. Too cocky after Cov. It's awful, right, to think that that's part of it. But can you look past it? Can you look past us being cocky? Not sure. I don't think we've been overtly cocky, but whether we've taken our eye off the ball, I think that's probably a much more valid thing to say. Ev says, to their credit, Millwall did defend well after the early goal, which made it incredibly difficult. I thought so too. I also think not attacking the Kop in the second half is a huge disadvantage. They turned us round, didn't they? They turned us round at kick-off and made us shoot towards the Kop first half. And we always prefer to go to the Kop. Look, you can't blame that on the result. It's just little details that don't help sometimes, isn't it? That didn't change the result, but it doesn't help. I agree with you there. Bean says, I hate to say it, but if you look at what Roll gets out of Wednesday's squad, nowhere near as good as ours. Compared to what performances we get from ours, it's not good enough. We don't look coached, says Bean. Super positive. Jack says, I agree the performances should be kicking on now. They've had enough time. Playing a system without actual wingers is affecting us deeply, especially when individual quality doesn't shine through. Paul Rose of Wellstone Landscapes, thank you for your continued support, pal. And that's the reaction Wilder promised us. That's a masterclass in how to destroy your season in 2 games. Extremely hard not to be negative after the last 2 games and feel heads will drop now. I think there'll be wholesale changes, to be honest, for Plymouth. I'm expecting 4, if not 5, new faces in the lineup. Bean says, you'd have thought that after crossing it 50 times and not winning 1 header, we'd have tried something else, but we kept doing the same thing again and again. JD says, incoming Dave Webster. Possibly. He's welcome, mate. He's welcome. He knows that. If Suter was still here, he'd be starting. We sign Holding to replace him and then don't play him. Robinson is an average defender at best and nowhere near physical enough to play in a 2. We've arguably the best player in the league, Hamer, and not played him in his preferred position, which is a 10 all season. Also, please, can he teach Peck to shoot? He's trying, but it's painful at the minute. Some very good points being made. And it's hard not to... I always want to try and bring balance to it. I agree with a lot of points being raised tonight. I think the last 2 games we've thrown it away more than we've been outplayed, says Jack. Fair. I said to my dad, before they even scored, I said, like at Oxford, we are beating ourselves here. We are beating ourselves. They are not, they're not, I didn't say they're not as good as us, but they're not better than us. We have enough to beat these, and we're just not putting all the pieces together. And, it's all right for us to look across, the county and laugh at Leeds United when they have a wobble. What are we doing now? What are we doing? I questioned Leeds' mentality, and we've just gone and lost 2 games on the spin after being top of the division. Again, another reason I didn't go in hard, because I've been a United out long enough to know that this could happen. Wayne says, I'm saying note. My gob runs away with me in the heat of it all. Sorry, but playoffs it is, and we know how that ends. Fair dues, Wayne. Hope you're well, pal. Danny says, big chances needed. Changes needed, apologies. Big changes needed. Look well off the ball tonight. How can we have so many shots and not even score? Sorry to say, but what has Cannon done since he came to the lane? Onwards and upwards. Have faith. Kev says, gutted, feels sick. Ben says, I've always been consistent that Wilder is too protected by the fan base. Guilty. Guilty. I love Chris Wilder for being a blade. He should have been replaced since February. I think that's ludicrous to say we've been top at league two games ago. We've lost 2 games on bounce and you want to sack the manager, but it's again your opinion. I think people can question him tactically or question his selection tonight. Absolutely fine, but to say it should have been replaced in February is laughable, to be honest. To me, we slipped into top gear against Coventry, then the clutch went. Says Wayne. Lee says Leeds now have a big 2 points plus a far better goal difference on the Blades. Get in. Yeah, it's now after it. It's amazing, isn't it, Lee? Leeds and Leeds fans were on the floor a couple of games ago, and it was it then became ours to lose. Then a game ago it were Burnley's to lose, and now it's Leeds to lose as well again. So I think we as a team at the moment chasing have to look to Burnley to drop because we play Burnley. They're the team that we can affect. So it's been so weird how this season's worked out. So tight. Wilder it's tactical best tonight, says Bran. Lose away to a terrible Oxford side. Have a go at the fans that spend hard-earned cash to watch. Play the same 11 at home to prove a point and lose again. Masterclass. I'm going to skip over some who've commented like 3 or 4 times just to make sure I get everybody in now. Ben says, you have your opinion, Jim. I have mine. It's exactly what we're about, pal. That's exactly what we're here for, ain't it? Dunno says, never felt like we will get back into that after 1-0 down. Really disappointed, but still believe we can do it. Fair dues, mate. Fair dues. Paul says, wonder if Wilder will shout out the fans tonight or actually take some responsibility for picking the exact same team as Oxford. Yeah. Will he? I mean, I've heard his post-match. It's one of the, he hasn't called the fans out. The only thing I'll say in regards to Wilder, I'm failing to see any tactical changes. We just kept kicking it long and overused in the right-hand side. Harry says, Wilder wanted to prove everyone wrong after he got some abuse and stick with the 11. His ego got the better of him. Burrows and Robinson suspect again. BBD shocking. The S8 Blade says, I just don't get how we can play a blinder against Coventry, go on this amazing run and then completely capitulate. The last time we had back-to-back losses was Leeds and Borough back in October. Yeah, it was, mate. It was. And we reacted okay to that, didn't we? But tonight, we have not reacted to the Oxford. I was convinced we would, which is why I wasn't overly concerned when doing the warm-up. And, you know, I'd convinced myself during that 90 after 90 that we've always come roaring back. Other than that Leeds Borough moment, which obviously we're all aware of the circumstances around that time as well. We've always come roaring back this season, and we didn't tonight. We didn't at all. I'm going to bring our next caller in now. Fair play to you, pal, for calling in at this time at 20 to midnight on a school night. Ben Shepherd's mate, Mark Hill. How's it going, pal?
I can't even believe I'm on here, I'll be honest.
I can't, mate. I can't.
I need cheering up, mate, because that was...
Oh, mate, that's what I need from you tonight. I need that from you.
I've gone landscape and all for you. Just
you have? Oh, after telling me that you were landscape before, which you never were, you definitely are now, and I appreciate it. I can see your full face. It's brilliant. That I'm going to say Alan Carr, full face, but I'll go with Paul Eaton instead.
Don't make it worse. I'm going. I'm leaving. Oh,
how are you feeling, mate? How are you feeling after that? Cheer me up.
I come out early, mate. I couldn't.
Did you?
I couldn't. Yeah. Maybe I'm a bit reactive, but I just can't believe where we've gone from to where we've gone to. What did I say before the game? I said to you, I'm not confident. I saw team. I'd just left you when team come out, and I said to my brother, I was like, "It's picked same team," and we're like, I expected 3 or 4 changes, but just a few things about like tonight. Obviously, they turned us round. You know what's coming with a side like Millwall. You know what's coming. You know, 2 defenders, they're going to head it and kick it.
Yep.
You've got to change it up. And 10, 15 minutes in, we just kept chucking ball in air. I just don't get it. I
Yeah,
don't
I know.
understand it. I don't get it. You've got to play differently, and we just didn't look right again. It was just so far off what we've had a lot of games like that. To be fair, I actually don't think, performance-wise, I don't think it were worst we've played this year
No.
by a long shot. But at the same time, like Wilder's alluded to, that quality just weren't there. Like Raksaki, he couldn't finish his dinner. That kid tonight. And it's just disappointing. I just, and you've not got to my comment yet. I actually said I'm not coming on because I'm too irate. Yeah,
I'm miles behind.
You
As
can
you'd
get it up if you want. It's fine.
I can't find it a minute. I'm miles behind.
It's quite far down, but I just don't see us doing it. Not now. Not now. No, you can kind of forgive them for Saturday because you said it before. Like Millwall ain't got a lot to play for. I think they're about 6 off at playoffs, so they're not out of it yet.
Yeah.
Oxford, they had something to play for. But same Saturday. And I think what will kill us on Saturday is we'll make too many changes, and that'll kill us because there'll be no fluidity to play. And then this is where the problem is now. We'll just be chopping and changing when really, besides a couple of injuries, Leeds haven't really done that. They've kept, and it's not worked for him. But at the same time, we're talking about bottling it and mentality. They've gone and took 4 points. We've took none.
Exactly right,
So
mate.
with Burnley, and that's the issue for me. I just don't see how you fall as high as we fell and turn it back on to a level where we need to turn it on to now.
Yeah, it's very concerning, mate. Very concerning.
There's no way. There's no way we go to Burnley and win. No chance.
Not on current form. Not on current form, but we
chance.
can do it. We can. I believe we can do it.
There's no doubt we can do it. Yeah, at the end of the day, we won't back them if we didn't think we could do it. But it's just, I think it's just more heat at moment thing at minute. I'll probably dwell on it a bit more tomorrow. But I said to somebody at work today, he's a Leeds fan. I said, I'm not confident again. I'm not confident. I just like to come out and say that about fans, and then I thought again, atmosphere was terrible. It was really quiet tonight.
It was poor tonight. I were expecting it to be raucous tonight, and there'd be loads of us really getting behind. It was like a gauntlet thrown down to fans by Wilder as well. A little bit, I felt, and we didn't react to it. We didn't react, and we're trying, and some of us are trying in certain areas, but it was poor atmosphere again tonight.
I think one other thing I wanted to mention is I think there were two things really. We're 1-0 down, we're chasing game. He takes Femi off and brings a defender on. I'm not bothered who it is, whether it were McCallum, Holding. For me, I'd like to see us, and we don't do it very often, go 2 up top. Get more and Cannon on and go for it. Go for it a bit more. We just seem to, you could just see it longer game goes on, and all they did, like their managers come out and said, we're not best side at crossing ball in box and they're best side at defending box. We didn't put one good ball in all night that made him panic. You've got to get that sides, and like you said, Campbell looked tired.
Really?
He looked tired, and it didn't look right from off. I thought Brewster were a cert to come out, to be honest, but
he's got to be on it. I mean, again, I don't want to dig individual players out, but it's hard not to fall back on that when you're disappointed in it and sort of say, why did he not play, and why did I've obviously got my favourites as well, so it's hard to try and stay balanced.
But then at the same time, I think like I've said earlier, were he going to play away with the fact that all we've done is chuck ball up to 2 centre halves who are 6'3" plus? He ain't going to win an header, is he? Do you know what I mean?
Makes no sense to play that way, though. I were with him. I were with him in taking Sariki off. I thought Sariki were poor tonight. I thought he were, and I thought it was leaving us defensively susceptible down our right hand side there left. So when Holding were lining up, we knew we were saying it's Sariki and Nels going over to right back, and that's no right back on bench either.
I was thinking about that when he come on Holding and he nearly stumbled, didn't he? Did you see that?
Yes, yeah.
Oh God, heart were in my mouth but I just
What about
Yeah.
when Cooper plays it across goal and nearly hits his own post?
Do you not think though as well? Like my old man said this to me tonight. We do a lot of that.
Playing across back.
And especially against a team that's got an high press, you're just saying, come and nick ball off us.
I know.
There weren't many times we got through, and then, I mean, BBD didn't look right from minute 3 when he went down. Didn't look right. I thought Raksaki, like I've just said, he didn't take his chances, but I thought at the same time, he looked a bit more of a threat than what Brereton Diaz did.
He did.
When he come on.
Lively, and then he just got progressively worse throughout the game. But it's a tough one to take tonight, mate. It's a tough one to take, and the immediate thoughts are, we could have blown it here now. We could have blown it.
I think so.
I know you do. But again, we'll sleep on it, won't we? And we'll come back and we'll get ready for Plymouth. And you know, if Burnley drop more points at home to Norwich on Friday, which they probably won't, but you know, we're going to be doing a watch along to see if they do. And then we'll see how we get on at Plymouth on Saturday. And things may change again. It's a great result for Leeds, by the way, tonight.
I think we're just clutching. I did think Leeds would win tonight, to be fair.
You did? You said that to me before.
Mate of mine said to me, he said, I don't know how, but he says, I can't see all 3 sides winning tonight. And Leeds have done business, and they were on floor like last week. And
I know. But that does show you how quickly it can turn around, though, doesn't it?
It does. I just think, I said to my dad earlier, I think differences with us, I think we've, like when Leeds tend to sort of drop off a little bit, the drawing, we're getting beat. Yeah. We've lost in a week or in 4 days what Burnley have all season. That's where I just can't see. I just can't see it. Maybe it's like I said, eat at moment thing, and I'll sleep on it and probably see how I am tomorrow. But yeah, it's not good. I just felt like it were coming, to be fair.
I know, mate. I know. Well, I appreciate you calling in, mate. It's good to have a chat with you after the game. Yeah, and no doubt we'll catch up soon. All right, then, pal.
Should have stayed at Caravan anyway. But anyway.
I'm going back there tonight. Yeah.
Safe journey back, mate. Take care.
Pal. See you soon,
pal.
mate. Nice one, Mark. Thanks for jumping on, pal. With loads of comments back. When I was looking for Mark's comment, then we have got loads. So thank you to everybody that's commented tonight. But I am obviously going to have to be a little bit more selective in my comments tonight, because otherwise we'll be here till 3 o'clock in the morning. All on Wilder tonight, says Danny. Shocking team selection for me. The players just carried on where they left off at Oxford. We deserved nothing from either game. Said all season we finished 3rd. Matt comes in laughing, marching on together. Haha. Justified. I've come in peace, says FVY, who normally comes in come rain or shine, to be fair. Never expected these results tonight. Just proves that's why we all love the championship. Absolutely right, pal. That's a fair thing to say. John says, so bad. Playoffs, I'm afraid. Too much side and back passing. Bryce says, we're garbage again. Not going to say it. Only 2 points in it. I'm with Man Mountain. Going to win the league. That is very positive. Avril says, oh my God, Blades, can we all calm down a lot, please? We've thrown a couple of games. I'm going to have to read it off there because it's not showing up on there. We've thrown a couple of games, but we'll get it. But it will get a lot harder up in the Prem, just playing against others week in, week out. Up the Blades, up the... Well, we might have to worry about that, Avril, to be fair. Yeah, absolutely right. How did Raksaki miss those chances, says Matt. Why can't professional players see that high balls and long throws into a giant defence don't work, says Wayne. When did United last score from a corner? Good question. Hi, Jimmy, says Kel. I don't know what to say about this. We blew it. We don't want playoffs. We're terrible at playoffs. We need to win all of our remaining matches and hope Burnley lose or Leeds to get promoted. Up the Blades. Peak says there's still only 2 points in it. Burnley dropped points. It can happen to any team. It's going to the wire. Excitement and drama at the very last kick. We might do a Coventry on Burnley. So I can see that happening, Pete, to be fair. I think this is more, and fair play for Pete for getting there quicker than I have. This is more a reflective comment, a bigger picture comment that with 5 games to go and only 2 points in it, it's definitely not done. I just can't see that tonight. I can't see past it. But part of my brain is saying, you're right. You're right. I get it. I get what you're saying. And I'll probably come back thinking that, you know, tune into the warm-up and we'll probably be saying that on there as well. James says, missed Sousa and O'Hare in the middle. Disappointed in Wilder going straight down the tunnel at the end. We had a top performance against Coventry, against a good side. Now 2 poor ones against Oxford and Millwall. Juki says, don't worry, mate. I'm not going to sit on my chair with silly sunglasses and a big flag making a fool out of myself. Only an idiot would do that. Still more twists and turns to go for sure. Marching on together. Ohio Blade says, was that just a cut and paste of the Oxford game? Same team, same tactics, same ineffectual management from Wilder. Get ready for the playoffs, my fellow Blades. Connor says, playoffs again, ole, ole. Justin says, complaining about the fans tonight, Wilder. That's on you. Poor against Oxford, blames the fans. Plays the same team to prove a point, fails. Shocking second half tactics all over the place tonight, up the Blades, up the Ramble. Just to push back a little bit, and I know people expect me to do this to defend Wilder, but he wasn't having a go at the fans. He was having a go at a section of the fan base who were abusing the players after Oxford because of what they've done this season. He was saying they should have more credit for what they've done. So it's easy to throw at him now as a throwaway. It's not quite as simple as that, is it, to be fair? Nick Cook, Ramble Royalty says, throwing it away tonight, and worst part is, I don't think we played that bad. We just struggled to break them down like Oxford. Fair. Avril says, it's the Blades way. We just love making it hard for us. Sends for flip's sake. Cooler King, thank you for becoming a Rambler, member of the channel. Very much appreciated, pal. Thank you for the support. Aston Villa fan. But obviously comes in as, plays a part in our content. So thank you, mate. Connor from One Leeds says, between us two, everyone, wouldn't say it's done and dusted at all, by the way. Look at how hideous our run has been. Yeah, we'll see. I think well, I know you think Leeds will still be in the mix, but I think we've got to catch Burnley. It's Burnley that we can catch without needing anybody else to do anything for us. We'll be back on battle lines. I think we said Friday, didn't we, Con? So, yeah, we'll see. Very poor night, says Lee. Slow, predictable, and too many players off it. Could still be playing now and not score. The really worrying part for me was the panic at the back and the loss of shape in midfield. Completely agree. Poor performance tonight, says Rossi. But come on, Blades, keep the faith. It's not over yet. Twists and turns to come. It's still on. Keep believing. Up the Blades and up all the Rambles. Liam says, evening, pal. Hope you're okay. I'm deflated. I did not see that coming. Gutted, frustrated. Hopefully, some more twists and turns to come regarding the other two. Up all the Rambles. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, pal. We've got 1,350 people here that are enjoying my misery. But thank you to everybody that's joined. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. It helps us immensely. Absolutely immensely. Juki says, Connor, you're not getting your flag out and silly glasses again, bud? And Con replies saying, not this time, Juki. Learned my lesson, lad. Fair play, Con. Bizarre to pick exactly the same starting 11, says PJ. He has to take some responsibility for this result. He does. But he doesn't in his post-match. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. He doesn't blame anybody, really, does he, in post-match? It was just matter of fact, I think, is the way I described it. Fred says, Wilder's been completely hung out to dry by his own ego. Skiddy says, I was shocked to see the same squad versus Oxford and thought it would be a similar game to that. Big Mally says, thought you'd have been on the stream, Connor. No, he weren't invited tonight. Listen, all joking aside, he knows he's always welcome, but it's a late one, isn't it? So, yeah, not expecting. This was Mark's comment. Not jumping on. Too heated after that. Played into their hands from minute one. BBD ain't a right winger. Never go two up top when 1-0 down and brought Holding on at 1-0 down. Chuck another forward on. Well, he obviously Mark's now come on and had his say, so thank you to him for doing that. I think you lads will be okay in the playoffs, says Andy. Jimmy, do you think we'll need to win the 5 now? Absolutely. Yeah. If we win that's the only way to guarantee it, Craig, isn't it now? That's the only way to guarantee it. I still think 4 wins would be enough, but just go to Jim, says Dio. I can never get that name right. Isaac says, just can't see how it ends the right way this season with that trip to Turfmoor. JD says, another day. Raksaki gets 2 and Diaz scores that header. Just not going for us at the minute. Could this be the year we win the playoffs? All the Blades. The only thing I'll say, and obviously, excuse me, I'm not giving up on automatic promotion yet. I'm certainly not. But the 3 teams that are in this, 3-way tussle for 2 spots are so much better. Maybe not on current form, But overall, which is justified by the points tally, it's so much better than the rest of the league. Even Sunderland, who will be the toughest test, I think, in the playoffs. And you always get a form team coming in there as well, which you can't discount. But whoever finishes third, which looks likely to be United at this point in time, should have enough to win the playoffs. Certainly in terms of personnel. It's just making sure we're in the right mindset, isn't it? And that's going to be really tough. But if we are third now and remain third until the end of game week 46, then at least we've got time to put our heads in playoff mode. Maybe that's, I don't know. I'm clutching, aren't I? Nige says, Wilder's ego, end of that was what cost us tonight. No changes now was beyond belief after Saturday. Ollie says, I dare Wilder to say fans were poor again. Shambles from him again with the subs. How on earth Raksaki is on the bench? He gets on the bench, he's unbelievable. Brooks is hardworking in training, but I haven't seen him since. He played last game, didn't he? Bry says, evening all, Burnley fan coming in peace. I still think it'd be Sheffield United and Burnley in the automatic promotion places and Leeds for playoffs. I'm not sure, Bry. Fair play though, pal. Bounce back, beat Burnley. It's that easy, says Will, up the blades. Chris says, poor decision making on and off the pitch. You've done us again. I'll also never understand why we sit so deep and sit in for the first half. Lee says, I have to say, though, that I do not like the booing of our players and staff. I agree. I understand the frustration, the fans wanting to let them know, but it doesn't help our lads at all. Back the players. Completely agree with that. Completely agree. The counter, of course, is that you pay your money, you get to leave when you want, you get to say what you want, and that is true. All very true. I just don't think they deserve booing. I don't think they deserve it. Ed Staniland says, don't mind Wilder giving the same players a chance to redeem themselves tonight, but they fully let him down. Looked flat and out of ideas from the start. Never want to see Raksaki for United again. Awful. I thought he was poor. I thought he looked lively initially, but was poor overall. Alan says, no way you can still defend Wilder, Jim. First calls fans, then plays exact same squad. Not good enough. Simply rubbish. I can. But I'm not blindly defending him tonight. I think it was a huge mistake going with the same 11. And I was surprised and disappointed that he did that. In terms of the fans, I think there's context to that. He's certainly not calling the entire fan base, is he? That's the way the narrative is being put by some. I'm not saying you, Al, but by some tonight, and that's not it really, to be fair. Jimmy says, Ellis, this league is balmy. It is. It is. And that's why we love it, isn't it? Gab says, all credit for coming on. Jim Bob swings and roundabouts this. Absolutely, Gab. It is. It is, mate. Blade Running says, on another night, the result would have been 3-2 to the Blades. Luck isn't on the Blades side at the minute. There's plenty of time left up the Blades. We're running out of time, aren't we, to be fair? Louis says, swings and roundabouts. Crazy, this league, from a Leeds fan. Feel bad for your drive back, Jim, says Jared. Troy says, Blades are falling apart again. Nice. Jack's come on to have a laugh. Paul says, you were on TV feed just before the start of the second half, Jimmy. Yeah, I've been sent it a couple of times. Me and my dad not looking, and Eki Outsal as well, with head down, but not looking too pleased, were we? Cooper and Ellen Robbo did okay. The rest were poor, says DW. Bullrose looked like a bloke from wherever. I don't think we've got another comment from there. Back to the top, marching on together, says Adam Coombs. Careful in the caravan, don't buy another one. I'm past that, mate, don't worry. FV says, Jimmy, all the best to you for your honest thoughts. Thank you, pal. That's what we're here to do, innit? The fact both of us thought Burnley wouldn't really catch us, and now look, says LUFC England. But we've faltered. You faltered. Surely they will. They're running out of time to falter, aren't they? Happy Chappy says, I hate to say I told you so, but from the moment the board brought Chris back, I said he wasn't the right man, and I've been vindicated. You haven't been vindicated, Happy Chappy. You haven't. We are on joint. If in terms of what we've won on the pitch, we'd still be third. By the way, I'm not excusing that at all. So the accrued points argument at the moment is out the window. But we are on the same points as the team in first and second. So we are miles away from the rest in the league. You've not been vindicated at all, in my opinion. Chris says, tough couple of results at the worst time, but only 2 points in it and 5 games to go. Far from over. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. And this is a great thing about documenting where we are online. So part of these fan channels that obviously we are a huge part of, thankfully, now the most viewed Sheffield United fan channel by a stretch. And thank you to everybody that continues to support us. It's stamped in it. It's stamped how we feel. People will be able to look back on this and see how low we all are tonight after a terrible result. Just like you can with one Leeds, Connor was on the floor two games ago. And I'm sure tonight, I hadn't had a chance to have a look at his stuff tonight. I'll probably try and watch it on where, it'll be on background when I'm driving through. But he will be elated tonight, and so he should be. So it can change really quickly. So, and that's what, the journey we go on as fans, isn't it? We document the whole thing. Ian says, someone please name me one other manager who would have turned the squad around and put us in the position we're in now. Well said, Gatekeeper. Martin says, Burnley fan here. I honestly think Burnley, Sheffield United and Leeds are fatigued. Mental strain as much as physical. Absolutely. The pressure is huge, isn't it, on all three sides. Troy says, don't forget Leeds. We are top. I'm certainly not forgetting Leeds, pal. Don't worry about that. Carl says, Leeds fan here. I come in peace. Still many twists and turns, but it shows how easy it is to drop off. You went top and slipped. Burnley went top and they slipped. It's not going to be easy. Absolutely right. Steve Simpson says, technically we have 3 points due to goal difference. That's true. That's why I'm saying in terms of Leeds, I am sort of forgoing Leeds at the minute, which we've all done with each other at certain times. I'm concentrating on us matching Burnley and then winning at Burnley, because then we can guarantee we go up. Performance was not bad, says this person. We just can't score against teams that sit 10 men behind. Fair. Jared says, I always think it's a bad sign when Wilder doesn't go into the players. Shows a sign of a lack of confidence in the group. O'Hare has to start, says Paul. Raksaki didn't pass to anyone. Greasy Chip Butty says, not happy with tonight's game. We knew we bottled it when they scored. Cooper needs to take responsibility for the goal. His poor distribution caused that. We can still do it, but we need to win from wherever. I'm going to have to speed up with some of these comments because I'm well behind. Chris says, all seemed a bit predictable tonight. Blimey, we never do how easy, do we? No, we don't. Still score a century and you get a couple of maidens over the way. Maiden overs on the way. Beyond frustrated with that selection and performance. Tom, thank you so much, pal. Playoff napkins on me, marching on together. Appreciate your generosity, pal. Thank you for helping us out. S says, I thought we attacked well and made loads of chances. The defence was poor and the ref was terrible. The ref was terrible, but I think it was terrible for both sides. I don't think we can use... I know Adam asked Chrissy about that after the game. I don't think we can use that as a reason for losing. Look, I do think we should have had a penalty in the first half, but I also think they should have had a penalty. Jack Robinson is yanking at their forwards top, and we could see it from John Street 50 yards away. It was just ludicrous. And he's not given it because he didn't have the bottle to give the Millwall pen, in my opinion. The pen to us, that foul that Millwall committed. And he says it's weird how every week a different fan base has a meltdown. It's all still to play for and lots of swings to come. I agree. Plenty of twists and turns to come, says Joe. Makes that Burnley game so important for everyone. It has been for a long time, though, hasn't it, to be fair. Ice Lord says, at least you lads in your team don't have bent officials disallowing perfectly good goals twice. Leeds fan here, but it ain't over yet. Yeah, obviously, I haven't seen the Leeds game, but we heard on radio coming back that Leeds have had 2 goals disallowed as well. So, fair play. They've obviously done a job, haven't they, on Borough tonight. Jan is laughing. Okay. Poppy Gamer says, Jimmy, play Joy Division. Fair. Liam says, this isn't over. We have Ecky's Preston at home on Saturday, and you're away to Ryan Hardy's Plymouth, who are fighting for every point. Still a lot of twists and turns. Completely agree, pal. Ollie says, Suter is the biggest miss of the season. Signing of the season. We look awful at the back now. We've got somebody that can come in and reassure us, though. That's the frustrating thing. Tom says, Lino doing his best to stop Leeds getting promoted. Chef Steele says, Jimmy, a pattern that has been there all season is first goal seems to decide the game. Very astute, pal. Very astute. And I completely agree. It's been very important. Obviously, the last 2 games stands out, but blips happen, Jimmy. Look at us, says LUFC 2020. Chef Jim says, could be worse. We could be 13th. Correct and well said. Ingrid Watson says, These in-your-face teams are very hard to play football against. The ball at Derby tonight spent more time 30 foot in the air than on the floor. Yeah, very true. Very true. Cooper looked like Olsen tonight, nearly scored an own goal, says Paul. I won't go that far. Let's have a look. Who haven't I read? Because I'm still on 1109 in terms of comments. Thank you to everybody for getting them in. I always try and read as many as I can, but I want to make sure I've read everybody's had a chance to have one read at least. Billy says, understand supporters are frustrated, but it was terrible tonight. Almost felt like a cup game. Need to stick them in this tough period. Still all to play for. Well said, pal. Danny Talk Sports says centre-back I've been saying Bamford had a part to play in this team but got laughed at. Okay. So I assume it's not centre-back then. I've just said CB. I've been saying okay, fair dues. Oh, CB, somebody that's commenting. Yes, you have, Danny. You were correct. Okay. Bryce says losing Suits has been massive for your lot. I still think Burnley and Sheffield United will be going up though. I hope you're right, pal. And that's not against Leeds. If you'd have said Leeds and Sheffield United are going up, I'd have said, I hope you're right. It's crazy that in the top three, laughing one week, crying the next, says Pat. Some twists to come, I feel. That seems to be the general consensus from other fans outside of Sheffield United tonight. And it's nice of you to say so. Not blown it, but we need to win the next two to get to 89, mate, says Ricky. Justin says, sorry, Jim, wrong game to shout about holding. Nearly slipped 3 times, letting them in, booting the ball out of play. I disagree. I saw him nearly slip once, to be fair. I didn't see him nearly slip 3 times. And you know, I still think he's a much more cultured defender. Can't understand why he was on. All he did was put a nil out of position because Sariki were poor. These are just different opinions, pal. That's all it is. Stuart says, Millwall beat Borough. They are level on points. You've seen the Leeds disallow goals. You can't tell me EFL ain't corrupt. That line cost us 4 goals in the last 6-7 games. Love the content. All Leeds, aren't we? No, we're not, pal. But thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. Pablo says our next 2 games are against teams fighting for survival, so wouldn't be surprised if we drop points against both based on our last 2 performances. I don't see us getting anything at Burnley either. Well, that'll be us in the playoffs then, won't it, pal? Robert says, I wish everyone would get off Wilder's back. Don't get it. It was good enough 2 games ago. Yes, we're all disappointed. Get behind the lads. Up the blades. Well said, pal. Well said. Viva Bielsa says, you must feel like I did on Saturday. Possibly, mate. Possibly a very similar feeling. Lyndon says, knew we would lose. Blown it again. Tim says, Callum O'Hare ran his legs off when he came on. And I think he connects the midfield with the front players. I completely agree. Peck and Sousa need to get back together. Jam says, I don't think you beat Burnley, but yes, there's definitely some curveballs to come between now and the end. Jack Robinson equals bomb scare, says Tom Nicholson, the Leeds fan, I believe. Louis says, fair play though, Jim Bob Marley. There's plenty more twists to come. We Leeds didn't play amazing. It's not like we're back yet. Anything can happen. It's amazing what 3 points can do, though, isn't it, for your confidence? It could just be enough to turn the corner. No goals in 2 games, says Joe. Chris says, Holding, though, different class. He pretty much controlled that back line on his own when he came on, and Anel was pushing up. That's what I saw too. Justin didn't, and that's fine as well. He did certainly slip at one stage, but I thought it looked a class act, personally. S8 says, I'm in agreement with that. Please play Holding. Nothing against Robbo, but I just think he's a better defender. Same. Jordan says, Wilder needs to sort this out. Fair. Richard says, gutted we didn't get a reaction today, but not surprised at the result, as I think it was too easy to say the Oxford result was a flash in the pan, but I think there were signs. I think we'll be more than one twist, but realistically, be one more twist, but realistically, we have to win every remaining game to get into the automatic spots. Bob Young says, chin up, Jim Bob. Long way to go yet. Beat Burnley and you're back on track. Oh, it's just as simple as that, isn't it? Beat Burnley. Go beat Burnley. That's fine. Yeah, they've not lost at home all season. They've lost 2 games all season, unbeaten in 28, conceded 12 all year. We can do it, though. Come on, Jimmy, we can do it. Sheza says, don't be so down, Blades. We may have won, but we've seen how it can swing around. It's amazing, this, isn't it? When it shows how similar boats the fan bases are in, particularly Sheffield United and Leeds. We've now got Leeds fans coming on our channel and saying, come on, Blades, don't worry, it's not over yet. The swings and roundabouts to come. It just shows, and I think there's been a bit more harmony between the 2 fan bases. I don't know whether it's me and Connor. I don't know whether it's being you know, labelled as bottlers at certain points of the season, being from similar roots as a fan base. I don't know what it is. Paul Young says, how many games out of the past 40 games have we played good? Anyone saying more than 4 is delusional. We've only played above average to below average. Okay, huh? If Ian, top man, if you've come to gloat, at least have the decency to hit the like button. Top man. Done it, Ian, says CB. And thank you, says Ian. Tariq says, Leeds fan here, still plenty of twists and turns to go. Thank God we won, though. Absolutely right. Chef Paul says, Millwall's defence was excellent. Clearly, the players' heads have gone. Once they scored, the crowd went quiet and the players looked lost. Matt says, was this the big reaction he promised? Calling us a disgrace in the pre-match presser, and yet has the audacity to just trudge off down the tunnel tonight. You just couldn't write it wild as a joke. He didn't call us, did he? He called about 5% of the away following and people who trashed the team online after one bad result. Well, we've doubled that now, haven't we? We've doubled it. So interesting. Will says, strange to see how quickly people's opinions have changed. 2 games ago, we were top of the league, best performance of the season. Now, 2 games later, it seems people have changed to the team's rubbish and Wild is the cause. Yeah, that's right. Michael Gandhi says, Leeds are falling apart again. Gone early there, mate. Gone early, but fair enough. Defo going to be some back and forth, lads. All Leeds, aren't we, says Lee. No, we're not, mate, but fair dues. Mark says, ask yourselves this, Blades. Has this season felt like a promotion season? For me, it just doesn't feel like it. Results have masked many poor performances and our luck has run out. Interesting point there from Mark. Luke's a Blade says it's 100% the playoffs and we won't get to Wembley. No plan B. The same pattern of play for nearly 100 minutes. Barney says, Jimbo, Leeds fan here. I hate Burnley. I wanted you lads up for a free win next year. Unfortunately, it seems like either of us want to run away with it. Okay, fair dues, pal. Fair dues. John says, hi, Jimmy. Tough night tonight for you boys. It certainly was, pal. It certainly was. Charles says, keep the faith, not over just yet. Leeds United supporter. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate that, pal. Adrian says, Leeds fan here. Still loads of Leeds fans in town. I thought it might be because there's still 1,250 people here. Leeds fan here. Still 5 games, twists and turns. We'll go to the wire. Didn't see you losing, Jim. You're doing a great job, especially with the collaboration with Connor. Hope you go up with us. Thank you, pal. As a Leeds fan, it was a good night for us. However, it can all change, says Marsh. And Jack says, oh, what a funny little league. Blades are falling apart again. Up the mighty whites. Paul says, evening, Jimmy. Another hard to swallow result tonight. I got your email, pal. Thank you for that as well. Can't be looking in the rearview mirror anymore. We just have to put the pedal to the floor and go for it. Up all the rambles. Like and subscribe, up the Blades. Top man. Glyn says, all the Leeds fans coming on here gloating. You'd think they would learn. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Lee says, the hardest league to predict in the world. Anything can still happen. Chin up. Absolutely right. It's just hard to take in. I know from how I've reacted this season to other games, Lee, that I will be chin up again. It might take me a day or 2, but I'll be all right. But in this moment, it's hard. And I'll always be honest with everybody that when I come on. I think that's been a huge part of the channel's growth, to be honest, that we just come on and we give an honest reflection of how we feel, and we give that platform to other people to respectfully give how they feel. If I came on tonight and we're like, come on, guys, come on, it's going to be all right. It's not real. It's not how I'm feeling. So I will be all right. And I'll probably be, again, trying to be positive going into the Plymouth game, but it's just hard, innit, pal? Hard at the minute. If you're a Blade, Leeds fans have been on end of it as well. Matt says, only started the second half. Wilder's triple subs ruined the momentum we had gained. Diaz and Raksaki should have scored. Need to move the ball quicker. Annoying games. Still in touch of autos. Absolutely right. Too many twists and turns to go yet, says Tariq. Yorkshire Carnivore says Leeds v. Action location. O'Hare and Vinny on the bench made no sense when pushing for a goal. You don't take Tyrese off when you're pushing for a goal. I thought he looked tired tonight. Action location. I thought he looked tired. Maybe it were a game to just give him a breather. And I appreciate you can't do right for doing wrong with that when he's your informed striker. But I thought he looked off the boil against Oxford. And I thought he looked off the boil again tonight. So, Traffic Cone says burnout affecting all top 3 teams. Frustrating, isn't it? Says Renegade. Marching on together. H from Steps. Tragedy. Says Wilder's put some blame on the youngsters, really. Thought Peck was brilliant. Brilliant to push. I thought it was good. And Sariki was also a threat throughout. Thought he was quite poor, to be honest. So who's he on about? Subs were appalling again. Johnny just says yes. Phil says, hi, Jimmy. I've never seen the point of booing the players. We should be trying to get behind them. I agree with that. We clapped them. That's just our choice to stay and clap them. People have got their own. I certainly wouldn't have stayed and booed them. And again, that's just my opinion. Still think there'll be a twist of the full-time ramble. Top man. Leeds remaining fixtures are good for them if they have already had their blips as Yorkshire Carnivore. You said that. We were fully expected to go and beat Oxford. We were fully expected to beat Millwall. They were fully expected to go beat Swansea. They were maybe didn't expect to get something against Luton, but you'd hope for a bounce back after a poor result against Swansea. So, yeah, I don't think you can look at any fixture list now and say they're home and dry. The only one that jumps out, obviously, is us going to Turf Moor. Walter says Wilder's tactics strike again. Paul says, but they all look like robots, Jimmy. Overcoached. Where is the break from the set formations? It's like watching the EFL. H from Steps says, Sariki for holding. You're having a giraffe. Aragorn says, it's the brutality of the championship. Are we all surprised at these wild results? Leeds fan here, and we got done by poor teams. I do think you'll come back from this. But are we running out of games, pal? Are we running out of games? Jake says, unfortunately, seems as if teams have figured us out. Stay compact in the middle, force us wide and press high. We'll just kick it along. And Wilder hasn't got an answer. Back three switch was too late. It wasn't a back three switch, was it, Jake? To be fair, it were a back four because Sariki came off and Anel went right back. So, excuse me. Don Blade says, the book stops with Wilder. He's the man in charge. I agree with that. I think it's Wilder will be the one that takes the responsibility tonight. Lee says, Leeds fan, I can't deal with this anymore. It's going to be huge end to the season. DT says, hope you're all well. I hope you're well, pal. Saw you on telly about end of half time. Very tough night tonight, boys. Very tough night indeed. King Tut says, don't worry, being top is a curse. Third spot has been the lucky spot to be in. Lol, all Leeds aren't we? No, we're not, pal. Who else has not had a comment read? Des says, hi, Jimmy, 25 shots, 5 on target for Sheffield United. What went wrong for you? I think Wayne did there. Big up Ricky, says Connor with his 199 super chat. Thank you, pal. Right, let's zoom down a little bit now and see if we can start getting to the end. So, because I'm miles off getting to the end of the comments. Robbie says, camera caught you on SUTV tonight up all the rambles. Nice one. Great. That's good to know. Leeds United fan here says, Kev, it's crazy how watching this channel, how much it's exactly the same as our channels when we don't win. I hope not. I hope not. Because I watch particularly one of your channels. And I do think that we're not as... we don't catastrophize things as much here, personally. We are obviously very disappointed tonight, and the overall picture is we've potentially blown it tonight in terms of automatics, but we'll see. Josh says fatigue has set in. No point in us gloating, says Lee. Enjoying tonight's results, but one of us is going to miss out. Don't know who yet, though. I know. Sly says sack him now. Oh my word. Josh says Brewster was terrible tonight. Why play him all the time? He'd got 2 in 3, Annie, before tonight. Why do you play Hamer as a winger? Play him in the 10, says Will. A lot of Blades would say the same thing. Tom Denton, a new member. Thank you for joining the channel, pal. Very much appreciated. And that was almost an hour ago, which tells you exactly where I am in the comments. So let's speed up. Dan says, so this is a good thing, right? It is for you being a Leeds fan, pal. It certainly is. Leeds, Blades and Clarets deserve credit for making this league what it is, says Big Mal. Darren says, there is a long way to go yet. I wouldn't be too despondent. As a Leeds fan, I'm not too confident we won't slip up again. I hope you go up with us. Thank you, pal. Let's zoom down. Tom says, not even top on the Wilder fake table now. Fair. Andy says, rubbish. Connor is right. There's no dressing this one up. It was such a mediocre display, says Cooler King. After Oxford, I thought Wilder would have set them up right for this one, especially with the same 11, but the reaction never came. Forwards were poor. Fair. David says, Wilder's doing a fine job. You've been on a great run, but hit a wall. Enough games to turn it around, marching on together. Isaac says, hi, Jim. Can't believe you guys lost back-to-back. You and me both, pal. Steve, help me out, Jimmy. My wife goes mad when I wake her up as your intro music is so loud. She storms in, looks at the TV. Sorry, mate. Sorry, I do need to adjust it. I've got some new software which I can work on that actually. So it'll definitely be sorted for next season. But as a Leeds fan, you might not be watching us next season. I hope you all stay, by the way. We'll keep you posted on what's going in whatever league we're in. I'm going to say in the Championship, but we're not going to say that now. Connor had seen this movie before. He said, looks like it may have been a surprise ending. All three teams are in with a chance. This is why we love the Championship and football. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, says Mickey D. We do love the Ramble, don't we? We do love the Ramble. We do love the Championship, don't we? We do. I love the Ramble as well. But we do love... Hey up. Good evening, David Webster. Wilder out. Clueless Chris. Connor says, not over, guys. Mental season. It's not over, mate. It's not over, not over, not over, not over, yeah. Jeff says, that comment belongs on the Conor McGilligan channel. Legend. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Up the Blade, says Ollie. Top man. Ray says, sat in the service station having a coffee. Still a long way to go. You and me both, pal. I've got to jump in the car after this, and I'm going back to Primrose Valley. It's all feeling like that's it all over. These last two games have put paid to that. Playoffs are a no-go with our record. Good night. Unbelievable. Phil says, hey up, Jimmy lad. How the doing, sausage? Is that how they're doing? Trying to be a little bit cocky there, a little bit funny. Connor will rip into you soonish, says Gaz. He can, mate. He can. I don't think he will, actually, if I'm honest. The next two games will be very much like the last two games, says Kaz. Tom says, brand new member of the channel. Thank you, pal. There'll be more twists in the next 5 games. The Championship is a different realm. It's not the norm, but it's entertaining, and I think Blades will have a say. I completely agree. We have really blown this, says Nath. Just United, Ricky says, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't change the squad for Plymouth just to prove his point. No, he'll change it. He will change it, mate. Thoughts on Plymouth up next? No comment at the minute, but I've got to give a comment, and I suppose that's what I'm here for. But I wasn't looking forward to it before this run of form. This was the one other than Burnley that I've said was going to be tricky. We'll turn it around. We'll turn it around. Michelle says, unlucky tonight, Jim Bob, but it's still up in the running for second place for you. We were feeling it Saturday, but just shows you it's not over till the fat lady sings, marching on together. Mr. M. Mountain, any relation to What a Man, One of You? Tears from Australia. Positive for Blades. Preston always gives us a tough game. We might drop something there. Says Shizzy, you've more than enough to beat Plymouth. It'll change again soon. I hope you're right, pal. Million says Leeds are not going up. Are not going to win 5. Even Preston on Saturday is dodgy. Yes, it is. We might be all right for this time. Oh, I don't know. I'm still a bit behind, to be honest. Neil says, Jimmy, is it going to be the 10th time lucky in the playoffs? Oh, mate, don't. Craig, what's up? Says, on the coach back home, buzzing. Thanks for the win. You should have been at least 3-0. 0-3, Sheffield United Premier League. You're having a laugh. Mill. Fair dues, mate. Thanks for joining us. You played well tonight. Can't say any other. Michael says Leeds, Burnley and Sheffield United are all capable of getting automatic promotion as well as the playoffs. It may come down to Burnley against Sheffield United as the key game. 44 if it's like this. Completely agree. Stephen says if Plymouth win tomorrow, they will be fighting for their lives on Saturday. God help us. Max says this is crazy. We are third, 2 points off top, and people are calling for Wilder's head. I know, mate. I know. Remember, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the caliber of players like Sousa, Hamer, Cooper booing the team. Well, did Hecky not sign Sousa and Hamer? But again, we wouldn't have I think you probably mean Wilder's status that he's brought the club up to in terms of the Premier League in recent years. If that's what you mean, then you're absolutely right. Chris says 5 must go. 5 to go. Must win them all. Hope you well, Jim. I think we do it, Jimmy. Up them Blades. I hope you're right, pal. David says Leeds fan here. We're all shaky. Hope Leeds and the Blades go up. Thank you, pal. Chemical Echo says, as a Leeds fan, we always knew 3 would drop. We knew all 3 would drop form in places near the end of the season. Just sort of hopeful that we have had ours earlier. Phil says, Jimmy, still think you'll get top 2 with Leeds. Just make sure you do the dingles. Mr. Vancouver, absolutely brilliant. What a fantastic member of our community you are, gifting 5 Blades Ramble memberships, which Max Goddard has greatly accepted. Jimmy, do Leeds have another 12-13 match this season as they are cursed when playing at that time? And Ian says, yes, they've got 2, including this coming Saturday. Steve Robinson says, you know, I'm a Leeds fan. We still have Oxford away. So Dave Brown Jr. says, champions again. Ole, ole. Come on, the Leeds. We shall see. Jace says, Leeds fan, always a good watch with Connor and you. Great content. Thank you, mate. Connor says, oh, you guys come up with us up the Yorkshire. Top man. SUC says, with Farker in charge, you still have a decent chance. The guy is worse than Wilder. Well, no wrong with Wilder. Still think we'll be playing you next season, says Bob. Hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you on here. Thank you for joining us. Bob, the Chelsea fan. Des says, Leeds fan have Burnley had a blip yet this season? If not, it might be theirs next. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Ab says, I lost my head when he had O'Hare on the right and Raksaki on the left. Wilder loses the plot when he has too many shiny toys. The last 7 games, if we go up or down for Lord CW, no chance. No chance. What a brilliant league this is. Much more exciting than the Premier League, even though that's what we all want. But you have to agree, Championship is way more exciting. I love the Championship, mate. I absolutely love it. Bjorn says, probably will be some insane twists and turns to come. Never been so nervous watching a Leeds game before. Crazy league. Good result. Derby Burnley, though. Hope they will start drawing again. Yeah, that would be class if they could. That would be very much appreciated. We're down to the bare bones in regards to squad depth. 1 injury to a vital player and we're done, says a Leeds fan. I am now going to welcome in my final caller of the night. I know Matthew's telling me to get myself off. I've got a long drive, but I will. I'm going to welcome in my mate, old school Ramble royalty. Not seen him for a long time. It's Dry Bry. How's it going, pal?
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? All right.
I'm good, mate. Thank you. How are you, pal?
Ready for bed.
Yes, me too. Me too. I saw you waiting patiently, mate, as I was trying to fire through them comments.
Yeah, I'll not keep you on because you know you want to get off to Primrose Valley. So,
it's all right, mate. How are you?
Disappointed like everybody else, I think. I think it was very frustrating, weren't it, watching it? I thought we were outfought, outplayed, outmuscled at times. I thought the ref was poor.
Yeah.
I think we've had him before.
We have.
I think somebody sent me a picture earlier on about the penalty decision in first half from that corner. Clearly blatant penalty.
I think somebody posted it in group, didn't they? I hadn't had a chance to have a look at it.
It might have been saying one. Shocking. If that's right, how he missed that, I don't know. It was very. And they were one in first minute when Berrington Diaz got chopped in first minute, right where I sit below me. If that went to booking, Jim, I don't know what was. He took him. He smashed him on shin. He took him out going up for a ball. He had no intentions of going for a ball. He just chopped him and he went down for 5 minutes. But, you know.
I thought there were a bit of that all night, to be honest, from me.
They were. Well, they're centre forward. He muscled didn't he? And he was chopping them two about.
He bullied him, didn't he?
Play to him, though.
Yeah, he bullied him. So.
But I'll put so much out there, though, Jim, which I think if we, or I said to you, would we have accepted this where we are now, beginning of the season? Would you have took it?
Of course you would. All
you know
day
what I mean?
long.
I know we're frustrated, and I know we seem to be kicking ourselves in the foot a little bit. But if all our fans had a bet now, say, well, we'll be third in league with 5 to go, would you take it?
My dad was saying exactly the same tonight. He was saying, look, if you look at start at season and somebody had offered us third, we'd have snapped their hand off. And obviously we've still got a chance to finish it in mathematics. So yeah, it's not over yet, Bright. And that comes back to bigger picture thinking, doesn't it, pal? That's where we have to start thinking that it's not quite, doom and gloom, is it, all the time? So
well, I have that mantra, never get too high when you win, never get too low when you lose. But it's really hard, isn't it, when it's frustrating, when it's getting so close and we've just shot himself in foot last 2 games, get winnable games, and I think Wilder should have changed it tonight. Definitely, 100%. I don't see why. I'd love to know what he's thinking. We're behind that. He's not going to tell us, but to me, he should have made him tonight and gone for it. And
a lot of people, I think, will think it's him being stubborn and trying to prove his point. And I think he would probably say he's trying to give the players a chance to prove themselves. And both might be right, to be honest. So it's not worked, has it, pal? It's not worked.
It's a
shame. What are your thoughts on where it leaves us for the season now, though, pal?
Thoughts? I think Saturday has now become massive. I think we've got to get 3 points Saturday. We were in control of our own destiny Saturday when we played Oxford, and I don't think we are now. But we're relying. We shouldn't be. We're chasing now. We wasn't chasing on Saturday, so we've got to get the points now, aren't we? So
we have, mate.
I know there's 5 to play. Anything that could happen, it probably will. Nobody's going to win. If Burnley and Leeds win the 5 on bounce, they deserve to go up, don't they? 100%.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. If anybody now wins 5 on bounce, they'll deserve it, won't they? So.
Absolutely, 100%. And I don't. I'm up to. I try and remain optimistic as much as everybody else, but it's hard, isn't it? When you see performances like that, have we peaked? Have we sort of? The players look to me a little bit anxious at times tonight, a bit frustrated at times tonight. There a comment Alex Neil put out. I don't know if you've seen it yet, where he said that Sheffield United are the lowest team for getting balls into box, crosses into box, and we are good at defending. So they forced us out wide, and we weren't getting balls into box. So it made sense. That's how that was his sort of tactics for tonight.
Right,
and they are strong at back. They're big units, aren't they, at back?
Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, they are big, strong team at the back. Yeah, and we couldn't break them down, could we?
No, we weren't good enough tonight. We've got to take it on chin. Millwall deserved to win. It's hard to pill to swallow, really, at times. But we've got to take it, and we will, and we'll bounce back. We'll stay optimistic. So let's try and be positive.
We'll try, mate. I'll tell you what, I'm positive now that you're back on. It's great to have you back on the Ramble.
Yeah, it's like a good opportunity tonight to get back on, so I'm tucking it. So I'm conscious that you want to get off to bed, and so do I. So all you've got your drive to do, yeah.
Got my drive, yeah. Don't worry about that. I'll be right.
Well, I'll see you again soon, no doubt. No.
You will. Cheers, Bri. See you soon,
Don't
mate.
be late. I'll speak to you soon.
Top man. Cheers, Bri. Oh, it's great to have Bri back on channel. It's been too long. Matt says, Jimmy, get yourself off. You got a long drive tonight. Your wife will be going mad. She'll be fast asleep, mate. Don't worry about that. And for the love of God, drop Robinson for holding, says Ab. Just reading the comments. Bryce says, keep it Ramble, people. Up the blades, up behind the Ramble, up Ramble on the road. Thank you, mate. Safe journey, Jimmy, says Ian. Thank you. Big up, Jim, lad. And there's a long way to go yet. Do you mean tonight, John? In terms of... You're right. There is a long way to go. Sam says, I think we missed the link between O'Hare and Hamer from the starting minute. The goals they created early has given us the win in the end. Raksaki, a poor attitude to the system we play. Interesting. Right, well, thank you to everybody for joining me tonight. I know it's really late. We've still got well over 1,100 people here, which is ridiculous at 12:30 at night. But thank you to everyone for your comments, for those that have jumped on and had a chat with me about it. I don't feel any better tonight, to be honest, but I will on reflection. And we'll be back. We know that we're doing a watch along for the Burnley game on Behind the Ramble, myself and George Motson on Friday night. I will also be doing a watch along for the Plymouth game itself. Before that, keep it Ramble, because we'll have a warm-up coming. We will also have Ramble on the road from tonight. That's Lee that's been doing that for us. Thank you to Lee. And hot off the presser, I assume, which might even be on my birthday, which is Thursday. So keep it Ramble. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards, even if it's in the playoffs. Up the blade. Ramble on.